Video games have exploded into a global phenomenon, captivating millions worldwide. From console and PC gaming to mobile apps, they've become an integral part of our culture. What began as simple pixels on a screen has evolved into complex narratives, stunning visuals, and immersive experiences. The gaming industry now rivals Hollywood in revenue, demonstrating its profound impact on entertainment and beyond. For a long time, video games were often dismissed as mere entertainment, a way to pass the time. However, as the medium matured, so too did its capacity to tackle complex themes and provoke meaningful reflection. Games offer us a unique lens through which to examine philosophical questions that have intrigued thinkers for centuries. Unlike passive forms of entertainment like film or literature, games demand our active participation. We make choices that shape the narrative, interact with virtual worlds, and face the consequences of our actions. Video games, despite their digital nature, often serve as compelling microcosms of our own society. They reflect our social structures, power dynamics, and ethical complexities, albeit through a pixelated lens. By immersing ourselves in these virtual worlds, we gain a fresh perspective on the familiar, allowing us to examine societal norms and values from a detached standpoint. Take, for instance, city-building simulations like SimCity or Cities Skylines. These games task players with designing and managing complex urban environments, grappling with issues of infrastructure, resource allocation, and social inequality. The challenges faced in these virtual cities mirror real-world urban planning dilemmas, prompting us to consider the intricacies of creating a functioning and just society. Games set in historical periods, such as Assassin's Creed or Red Dead Redemption, transport us to different eras, immersing us in their social and political landscapes. I bet you didn't know how video games can challenge your moral compass. One of the most compelling aspects of video games is their ability to present players with complex ethical dilemmas. Unlike passive forms of media, where we observe the choices of others, games demand that we make our own decisions, often with significant consequences. In games like The Walking Dead or Life is Strange, players are constantly faced with difficult choices that impact the fate of themselves and those around them. Do you prioritize your own survival, even if it means sacrificing another? How far are you willing to go to protect your loved ones? These choices often lack easy answers. By stepping into the shoes of a virtual character, we experience their struggles and relationships firsthand, making their plights feel more personal and relatable. This emotional connection enhances our empathy and challenges us to consider the perspectives of those affected by our choices. Choices in video games shape narratives, leading to different outcomes. Games like The Witcher 3 and Mass Effect use branching narratives, where decisions impact characters and worlds. These choices add weight to our actions, encouraging critical thinking. Ultimately, players shape their own virtual destinies. Emotional bonds with characters heighten the impact of our choices. Video games, unlike any other art form, allow us to step directly into the shoes of another. This ability to embody diverse characters, each with their own motivations, beliefs, and experiences, is a potent tool for fostering empathy and broadening our understanding of the human condition. Consider games like The Last of Us, where we experience the post-apocalyptic world through the eyes of Joel, a hardened smuggler grappling with loss and a growing sense of responsibility. The game masterfully weaves a narrative that forces us to confront difficult choices, blurring the lines between right and wrong. Video games at their core are about problem-solving and experiencing the consequences of our actions. This inherent interactivity makes them powerful tools for fostering empathy, as we directly experience the impact of our choices on others within the virtual space. Games like this War of Mine place us in the shoes of civilians struggling to survive in a war-torn city. We make agonizing choices about scavenging for resources, caring for the sick and wounded, and protecting our loved ones from harm. The game does not shy away from depicting the brutal realities of war and its impact on innocent lives. The empathy cultivated through video games has the potential to extend beyond the digital realm, influencing our understanding of and interactions with the real world. By experiencing the world through the eyes of others, we develop a more nuanced and empathetic perspective on the challenges faced by individuals and communities different from our own. Games like Life is Strange tackle complex social issues like bullying, mental health, and social isolation. Through the eyes of Max, a high school student with the ability to rewind time, we navigate the intricacies of teenage relationships, grappling with the consequences of our actions and the power of choice. Video games often present players with a tantalizing illusion of free will. We are given choices, sometimes an overwhelming number of them, and told that our decisions will shape the narrative and determine the fate of our characters. Yet within the confines of a digital world governed by code and algorithms, how much freedom do we truly possess? On the one hand, games like Detroit Become Human or Until Dawn emphasize player agency, presenting branching narratives where our choices have significant and lasting consequences. The concept of determinism, the idea that all events are predetermined and inevitable, takes on an intriguing dimension within the context of video games. After all, these digital worlds are governed by lines of code, algorithms that dictate the behavior of characters, the unfolding of events, and even the seemingly random occurrences within the game. In games with linear narratives such as The Last of Us or Uncharted, the path we follow is largely predetermined. While we may have some control over moment-to-moment actions, the overall arc of the story, the major plot points, and the ultimate fate of the characters are often set in stone. Video games, despite their artificiality, have become increasingly adept at simulating aspects of the real world. From the intricate physics engines that govern the movement of objects to the complex artificial intelligence that drives the behavior of non-player characters, games are blurring the lines between the digital and the real. Games like Red Dead Redemption 2 boast stunningly realistic graphics, immersive sound design, and meticulously crafted environments that transport us to a living, breathing world. These sensory details create a powerful illusion of presence, making it easy to forget that we are interacting with a digital construct. The philosophical significance of video games extends beyond their ability to simulate reality or explore abstract concepts like free will and determinism. It lies also in the very act of gameplay itself, in the unique relationship that forms between player and game. When we engage with a video game, we enter into a kind of unspoken contract with its creators. In return, the game offers us a space for exploration, challenge, and self-discovery. Video games, with their ability to transport us to different worlds and inhabit diverse personas, offer a unique platform for exploring the complexities of identity. Within these digital spaces, we can experiment with different versions of ourselves, challenge societal norms, and grapple with fundamental questions about who we are and who we want to be. Role-playing games in particular allow for an unprecedented level of customization and self-expression. In games like Cyberpunk 2077 or The Sims, we can sculpt our characters' appearances, personalities, and backstories, crafting digital avatars that reflect our aspirations, fantasies, or even our deepest insecurities. The pursuit of meaning and purpose is a fundamental human drive, one that extends even into the realm of video games. While these digital worlds may be simulated, the experiences we have within them can evoke real emotions, challenge our perspectives, and prompt us to reflect on the significance of our own lives. Many games tap into our innate desire for purpose by placing us in roles of responsibility, often tasking us with saving the world or protecting those we care about. In games like The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild or Horizon Zero Dawn, we embark on epic quests, overcome daunting challenges, and ultimately make a tangible difference in the game world. While the experiences we have within video games may be confined to digital spaces, their impact can extend far beyond the screen, influencing our thoughts, emotions, and even our actions in the real world. The lessons we learn, the connections we forge, and the perspectives we gain through gaming can shape our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. The problem-solving skills honed through gameplay, the ability to think strategically, adapt to changing circumstances, and persevere through challenges can be invaluable assets in other areas of life. The collaborative spirit fostered by online gaming communities, the importance of teamwork, communication, and mutual support can translate into stronger relationships and a greater sense of community in the offline world. The depiction of violence in video games has been a subject of intense debate since the medium's infancy. Critics often argue that exposure to virtual violence desensitizes players to real-world violence, potentially leading to increased aggression and harmful behavior. Proponents, on the other hand, contend that video games provide a safe and controlled outlet for cathartic release, allowing players to explore themes of conflict and aggression without real-world consequences. The reality, as with most complex issues, likely lies somewhere in between these polarized viewpoints. From first-person shooters like Call of Duty to action-adventure titles like Grand Theft Auto, players are often placed in situations where they must engage in virtual combat, often with lethal results. Virtual realities, real consequences, the ethics of digital actions. As video games become increasingly immersive and realistic, blurring the lines between the digital and the real, the ethical implications of our actions within these virtual spaces demand greater scrutiny. Consider the ethical dilemmas presented by games like Grand Theft Auto 5, which allows players to engage in a wide range of criminal activities, including theft, murder, and torture. This freedom, while central to the game's appeal, raises questions about the potential for desensitization and the normalization of harmful behavior. Beyond pixels and polygons, fostering social awareness through games. While video games can sometimes perpetuate harmful stereotypes or glorify violence, they also have the potential to be powerful tools for social change, promoting empathy, understanding, and critical thinking about real-world issues. By leveraging the immersive nature of games and their ability to connect with players on an emotional level, developers can create experiences that challenge our assumptions, broaden our perspectives, and inspire us to make a difference. Games like This War of Mine, which simulates the harrowing experiences of civilians caught in a war zone, force players to confront the human cost of conflict, challenging the often glamorized portrayals of war in other forms of media. A new lens for understanding reality. As we've journeyed through the digital landscapes of video games, we've uncovered a depth and complexity that extends far beyond mere entertainment. Games, with their unique ability to immerse us in interactive worlds and challenge us with meaningful choices, have emerged as powerful tools for philosophical exploration. Through the lens of gameplay, we've grappled with age-old questions about free will, determinism, the nature of reality, and the search for meaning in a digital age. The simulated worlds of video games, while artificial in their construction, offer a unique space for experimentation and reflection. By inhabiting different personas, confronting moral dilemmas, and experiencing the consequences of our virtual actions, we gain new perspectives on ourselves and the world around us. The emotional resonance of these experiences, the connections we forge with virtual characters, and the lessons we learn from our digital triumphs and failures can have a profound impact on our understanding of the human condition. Leveling up our understanding, the future of philosophy and games. The future of video games and their potential to engage with philosophical inquiry is brimming with possibility. As technology evolves, so will game design, narrative and player interaction, creating immersive and thought-provoking experiences. The lines between games and other media will blur, leading to hybrid forms of entertainment that challenge our definitions of art and storytelling. Games will delve deeper into social issues, exploring themes of identity, inequality, and the human condition. Virtual reality will blur the lines between the digital and the real, creating impactful experiences. The accessibility of game development tools will empower new creators to share unique perspectives. We must approach video games with a critical yet open mind, recognizing their potential for both good and harm. Engaging in thoughtful dialogue about the ethical implications of virtual actions is crucial. Video games have emerged as a powerful force for cultural commentary, social change, and philosophical exploration. By embracing their complexities, we can unlock their potential to enrich our lives and foster a more compassionate future. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.